that's okay. If you want to roll up your sleeves and get involved with some of the fundraising activities and event planning, that's fine. We're looking for really anyone across all ages to get involved because there's so much to do. And there's always more to do when it comes to education and young people, especially from poor communities that don't have the access. So I wouldn't let the time commitment challenge be an obstacle for anybody, whether you're early in your career, a student, or in retirement. So that's the general answer. Um, and so really, you can spend as much time, and in fact, all of your time on this work. So for me personally, it is a balancing act. But now, as I get towards the end, or maybe the last phase of my career, it's become important to me personally to live a balanced life. And I always think about, well, what is the perfect day for me? And a perfect day for me would be to spend maybe part of my time on my career or business activities, part of my time in the nonprofit world, giving back to my community, part of my time maybe mentoring young people. There are lots of different things that I still want to spend time doing that makes me fulfilled, makes me happy. And so the challenge for me is to make sure that I'm trying to live each day towards that ideal. And so when you're doing the things that make you happy, that's what life is all about. And so for me, it's just trying to find that right balance.
Yeah,
Part of that too, I would say, is spending time with my family and my friends. So, if I could do all of those things equally, that's a perfect day for me.
yeah, I think that that's really wonderful. What my specific curiosity was just more like the number of hours, or like maybe that you might spend in a week or a month with your work as an organization, or maybe a typical volunteer if not a board member.
Yeah, it's not a big time commitment. If you're on the board, I would say it's a few hours a week. I think part of being on the board as a volunteer is really connecting people with each other. And so every board member brings their unique network to the table, friends, family, colleagues, the teammates that they have at their work environment. And so really it's about connecting people. And that could be a couple conversations a week. So it's not a huge time commitment. And we meet as a board formally once a quarter. But in today's day and age, with WhatsApp and DMs and email, you can keep the communication flowing without a lot of formal meetings. So I would say that's one big change is fewer formal meetings, but more just ad hoc communication with the group. And again, it's about connecting people, and there may be more work leading up to a specific fundraising event. Some of the chapters have a big annual gala, and those galas take a lot of project management and coordination work. And so there are a few board members that would get involved in an event like that. So leading up to that event could be obviously more hours, but in general, there's no reason you can't be a volunteer and have a day job and have a family and have a life and do all those things equally well.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I hope that's helpful to folks who are considering volunteering. Um, So, and branching off of that, for those who might actually be interested in getting involved with Pratham, what advice would you have for them?
Well, first, start with yourself. Uh, you need to know yourself and you need to spend a lot of time on introspection. And I think many of us have done that, especially during the COVID pandemic. We had a lot of time at home to think about what it is that we want to do in life and how we want to spend our time. So be true to yourself and find out how you really want to get involved and in what area do you want to get involved. I mean, there's so many needs in this world. But if education and young people are near and dear to your heart, then I would hope that you would consider an organization like Pratham. So that's the first step, is figure out how you want to spend your time. Because if you do that assessment correctly, then you will end up spending time without even realizing it. That it's just part of who you are and your DNA. So I think that upfront work is really important. Then find the right organization, talk to people, listen to podcasts like this. Um, do a little bit of your own homework. If you're interested in Pratham, find out what Pratham is doing. Get on the website, talk to some people who are from your community involved with Pratham. Talk to other organizations. I'm not here to just sell one organization, but talk to a wide variety of organizations and find out where you think you can make a difference. And then once you pick the one or two organizations that you really want to get involved with, the rest is easy, because you will naturally find people that are involved with that organization. They'll probably want you to get more involved on boards and event planning and other activities. And so the rest usually just happens naturally, but start with yourself would be my recommendation.
Yeah, thank you. That's wonderful. And if they want to get in touch with you or Pratham at the Los Angeles or other chapters, what would be the next steps for them to follow?
Well, maybe as part of this follow up from this podcast, if I could provide some contact information for listeners, I'd be happy to do
Yeah,
that.
definitely. And we'll link it in the show notes below so that people can access it from both our YouTube, our Spotify, and our Apple Podcasts.
That would be great.
Well, those are all the questions I had for you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that folks took away a lot from this conversation, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here.